Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. So in this episode, I'd like to share with you a compilation of my necromancer in this season 23, playing the GR100, farming in a sense because I got it down to around 4.5 to 4 minutes, which is kind of comfortable, no death at all. So I'm very happy with the build, knowing that this build is not the strongest build that we have for necromancer as of today. It's a mid-tier build, but a lot of time I say to people that it's not really a matter of, unless you are going for leaderboard, it's really not a matter of getting the best, most powerful build out there. Is what you enjoy the build as it is and try to squeeze every ounce of performance from that build. So that is what I enjoy. And in this episode, you'll see the Army of the Dead necromancer build, which is the physical variant of it. So it's different from the poison build that many people are doing for quite a lot of necromancer build. To put things into perspective, in terms of gearing, 10 out of 13 slots are in ancient category, while 3 are just normal one. But I kind of like the affixes that I have, so I kept it as a normal kind of gear that I have. In terms of affixes, they are more or less pretty nice, and except the one or two gears that I still like to drive it to the perfection. So in terms of dam augmentation, in this video that I've recorded, 3 out of 13 slots are being augmented, so it's not really a lot of augmentation, but it's sufficient, good enough in the range of 90 to 100 rank of legendary dam that go into it. So people ask what's next after being a guardian in a season. So I would like to, because in this particular season I really enjoyed, first of all, the Rathma nude set, or newly revamped set, and also I really enjoy the follower kind of revamp as well. So I'll go a little bit further and see how far I can go by a couple of things. First of all is to augment the dams to give more ancient gear the opportunity to shine, add a little bit more intelligence to it, and see how far I can push from that regard. Second of all is, of course, through crafting. So I still have 1 ring and 2 rings and an amulet that are not ancient. So if I'm able to craft a decent ancient out of it, why not? So that is what I'm playing for. And thirdly, of course, as I do more greater rift, like 100 and above, I should get more paragon point, and with that, my character should naturally be a little bit more powerful. We shall see about that. Okay, so now as you can see, this build is this build that you see here is very different from some of the builds that you have out there. There's a lot of button to mash. It's not like some of the Monka build or some of the build that you have to click a lot of buttons to make it happen. Nor it is also not a build whereby you can auto toggle things. Like Crusader, for example, is the worst offender, whereby you can auto toggle a lot of ability, and you just walk around and just mash a few buttons and you're just done with it. For this necromancer build, there's quite a few things to observe, although there's not a lot of action on the ground that you can see there, not a lot of button to mash, but it is really a matter of ensuring that the command skeleton is hitting the right target, which can be a little bit hard because targeting in Diablo 3 is already very hard, and somehow for some strange reason I found that the command skeleton targeting is even harder. I don't know why. It's so hard to pick the single elite out there to target for the command skeleton, but if you do that, of course you get a bonus against that elite, which is kind of essential when you run a high rift. Then ideally you should do the bone armor, which is dislocation, stun all the enemy around, and then after that do an Army of the Dead. That's ideally from a physical kind of like a variant to it, but sometimes you don't, and it's getting a little bit dangerous. You want to just stun them all first to buy a little bit of time for Army of the Dead cooldown to tick off. So I think that's fine too. Now, of course, if you are into a higher end of rifting, then you want to time your Army of the Dead until you hit the physical cycle of the conversion of element. Then you click on the Army of the Dead to give a pretty big kind of damage against the target. is fine too. I think for necromancer there's only a couple of cycles when it comes to conversion of element, so hit or miss sometimes is not that important, especially if you are able to maintain the command skeleton to keep reducing the cooldown of Army of the Dead. So you do get to pop it rather often as well. Now, of course, once with shrine like the I mean, I like the shrines a lot for this necromancer build, because almost all the shrine help tremendously on this build. Without saying the shrine that reduce the cooldown reduction, that reduce the cooldown, that is a big win for the Army of the Dead. Even the one with the faster attack speed will ensure that your Army of the Dead can pop quite often. Of course, power is also very useful, then shield is also very useful. So I kind of like the fact that you know, with the follower gear that you can further extend the shrine effect, then yeah, I mean, it's a happy moment when you play the necromancer in this season. Last but not the least, of course, about the distancing as well. You can see that a lot of time I pull out from the main mobs when I do Army of the Dead, mainly because I'm using one of the legendary gem called Stones of Vengeance, I believe. So what you do is that the further you are from the enemy, the bigger the multiplier against the enemy. So I usually do like you know, I go in, it will slow down the enemy, I do a stun, and then after that I start doing Army of Death, pull out. The Army of Death has like a big kind of pull into the middle, and also with the right gear you do have the unconventional warfare, which is like a damage over time against the target. So when you pull out, it kind of make it the damage kind of quite good. But of course, when you face with monsters with the juggernaut affixes, then it doesn't quite work out. And I think that is basically the bane of a lot of builds out there, when the bane of the trap can't really do anything, when the crispy sentence for the necromancer can't do anything. So all in all, I'm having a lot of fun with the physical variants of this Rathma Army of the Dead build. Now, as I arrive to closer to perfection in terms of my gear and skill, so on, I'll do a little bit more video. If I can push a little bit higher, I'll try to do it. So after this set of video, I managed to augment another gear with the 102 ranking of the legendary gem, and I think right now all I need to do just keep jamming all my gears and keep doing bounty, you know, try to craft more gear. And the beauty of this season is that a lot of people like to do bounty because of the conquest as well. So you know, it's happy time. I always able to find a group in a public domain to just play together, to farm together. All right. So you know, this is towards the end of the video. I hope you enjoy it. And at the end, the timing cut down to around 4 minutes for the GR100, which is pretty decent with no or very little threat of defeat at all. So that is a happy time. Also, I mean, you know, not only because of the legendary gem that I'm using, the molten something that create a shield, then of course with the final service and with the new follower kind of revamp that will also resurrect you, you have 3 layers of protection against any mishap against the character. So that make it a little bit easier as well. So yeah, I mean, do let me know in the comment box below what other content you'd like to see, and how is the season 23 is going on your end. And I hope you will have fun doing whatever you do, and I'll see you again soon. Have a nice day and goodbye.